Okay, folks, how are you doing today? It's me again, out in, where are we?
Bangkok, Audit.
En route. This is now the second time I've been en route in like 2 weeks. And I've been here like 7 years, never been here before. Yeah. Seriously. Amazing the sort of things you have to deal with. I'm looking at the lighting. I'm in a bit on the dark side there, sorry about that, but hopefully we got the good light on Trolls there. And of course, my mate here, Two Snake. Don't ask why he's called Two Snake. It's just Two Snake, yeah.
Confusing.
It's confusing. Anyway, today we're out here specifically to talk to Trolls about business here in Thailand, or more to the point, setting up business in Thailand. It's one of the things I've been looking at over the years, and right out, I'm going to say right, don't talk to me about setting up a business, don't talk to Trolls about a business, talk to a lawyer and accountants about setting up a business, if you're going to do it properly. What I'm doing today is basically it's a Q&A type thing. Now, we did this loosely a couple of weeks ago on our Discord channel, where we're playing games and we're not really focused, but we spent what, 2 hours going through the numbers. And so what we're going to try to do, we're going to try and condense all those questions down into 20 minutes to give you guys a bit of a snapshot of the whole idea of working here in Thailand under a business umbrella. And that's a can of worms in itself. So hopefully we'll just hand it over to Trolls, right, and start out a few questions. Like, first one, how many businesses now in 8 years have you opened?
4.
4.
Sold 2, have 2 right now.
Right, sold 2, have 2. And that's your modus operandi, so you start a business?
Yeah, so before when I was just like an IT director for a corporation, I was working, and then I just figured I could do it better. My first startup, I failed. I lost all my money, but that's how I learned. Yeah. So you just get back on the horse and do it again. And then I make cybersecurity software products. So, so it's easy to get traction here in Thailand. I think Thailand's a great place for startups. It's good for funding. It's good for like innovative stuff because they like new stuff. As you can see with like when we talked about the condos and whatnot, they like new things. They like to have fresh new things. So if you get that and then get some customers, it's easier to go Western and sell the company afterwards. So one of my companies, I only had it for 1.5 years and I sold it with only putting like $20,000 into it. Yeah.
So my experience, like I set up my own business in '95. It's interesting how we're both similar fields. We're both computer gamers, and we're both IT security. Well, I was infrastructure, but IT security came under that umbrella. You know, but I relied on things like checkpoint firewalls and all the right router gear, Cisco, and all that sort of stuff to do the job for me. All I had to do was just analyse the logs every week to make sure, because we weren't a high profile. Everybody wants to find out the secrets. We were doing fast-moving consumer goods. Right? Who wants to know who's eating cornflakes tomorrow? I don't know. Not many hackers. But you get an idea. For every level of business you're going to be working in, they're going to have a different level of security. And that's obviously my claim to fame is also Trolls. And so, you know, we already know what we're talking about when it comes to talking about business. Because the ducks are in a row, so to say. For sure. It just makes it a bit easier. But the thing is, like in my case here in Australia, or when I set my business up in Australia, it was simply, I called my accountant up, and the guy that did my personal tax. I sort of said, like, you know, I've been running a sole trader entity for the last 3 years. I think it's time to make that a business. Can you make that happen? He says, yeah, it's just going to cost you a bit of money. I'll do it all for you. Just paid the money, and next thing you know, I think he called me up and says, we couldn't have the name you chose. Off the top of my head, I just had to, because he's in the office, and I had to think of a name. So we're going for SCS, but I'm not going to go into the read. These are for the SCS. So I just said enterprises after that. And it all happened. You know?
It's the same here in Thailand too.
But that's it. I didn't really get involved. He did all the tax, did all the accounting, did everything else, and I made the money. And I do the sales, I do the engineering. That was business in Australia for me. I did that for 7 years. You, on the other hand, you've done for businesses.
Yeah, so mine's a little bit different because mine deals with like a little bit of like fundraising and having multiple partners and investors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But if you want to talk about a smaller business, like I have my own personal consulting company. This is something that like people could explore for tax reasons. So like I just have a general IT consulting company. And my dad happens to be a shareholder in that company. So whenever he wants to come to Thailand for business, I buy him a plane ticket. You know, stuff like that. You know, you just kind of work it out. It's like it's not illegal, but it's definitely a fine line. And there's like, I think in America there's like so many days that a person has to be here and it can't go over a certain amount of days for it to be tax writable and stuff like that. So you gotta consult with your accounting and all that stuff. That's what I do, is I just make sure I hit all the best brackets I can in each topic, in each category, so that way I can maximize my return. For example, in Thailand they give you, I want to say they give you like 10,000 baht or 100. It's like 10,000 baht a month or something for a salary for somebody that's like tax writable. So you can use that for like your maids and whatever, drivers, and then by the end of the year you get a lot of that money back. And so their salaries aren't really that, like these low income salaries are almost tax writable themselves.
So 10,000 baht a month is like, that's
like so that's like
a 300 baht a day.
Yeah. So if you're paying, to hit the max that you can pay in that tax bracket is 10,000 baht, or get back in that tax bracket is 10,000 baht for that category. So like the maid, as long as she makes less than 10,000 baht a month, and she comes like maybe like 3 times a week or something, just cleans like a little bit, like, and it can be like your home office. You know, that's all tax writable. So at the end of you're paying for it all up front, but then at the end of the year you got all these really good deductions.
Yeah,
so
my home office, my 2.5 square meter home office. It doesn't take long to clean that. But you get, I start getting an idea.
Get some ideas,
Well, let's rephrase it. Okay, so Shania has. Let's use as an example. It's not what we do, but Shania has this hair salon. Right now, I'm not involved. It's her business. She did that all herself, and from there, you know, she's done all the mortgage. She does all that work. I'm nothing on it. Oh, we got some food coming. Over there. Yeah. So, you know, I don't really get involved in all this, you know, technical jargon anymore, because as I said, quite honestly, my visa, the retirement visa, which you can get at 50 years old, it's simply, you just got to show you can support yourself on an income that doesn't derive from Thailand. Right? They say 65,000 baht a month. Fair enough. Okay, so I just threw the money in the bank here, and every year I just rock up there with a piece of, 3 pieces of paper, three pieces of paper, and this, the TM47, the SPM02 and SPM02A or something like that, 1,900 baht, a couple of fucking photos, and I just smile, and my health insurance. That's it. Bang. And I've seen people who run business or have business visas here in Thailand, even at a Nakhon Phanom, right? And they come in with seriously like boxes. And again, marriage visas, they come in with boxes of paper to prove that they're married. And I'm going, I really do.
Yeah, I think it depends. Like, because if you're looking at a company's perspective, they might be doing it for several employees at a time. But for like an employee, even if it was yourself, so you have your own business, so that way you can have your own work permit. This might be the case for some people. You're gonna have to prove your income, your minimum salary requirements. So it's like 50,000 baht a month. You have to pay the taxes on that at least. So if you're not paying yourself 50,000 baht a month, that's fine. The government doesn't really care, because as long as they're getting the tax money for 50,000 baht a month. And then what else? The income, the health insurance stuff. They want to just make sure you're not going to be a leech on, you know, the government. So.
Fair enough. So what would be like? Okay, so if I was, because one of the things we talked about, we sort of said, well, let's talk to the girls, and like I don't mind. Like I funded Shania's salon. I put it all together, or provided the funding, which pays her an income. Which means she's not in my pocket for for play money. That's an investment. Wise investment. The thing is, I get nothing out of it. But what I'm thinking of, the fact is, well, I'm looking at the business visa because it's a different paradigm. And when you sort of look at the business visa, they want business in Thailand. So you get a little bit of leverage, a bit of leeway there. Yeah, you're no longer under the foreigner scrutiny. You're a business owner.
You're paying taxes.
Yeah, and you're paying taxes.
You're a contributing member to society.
Right, but how does that pan out for other things, for livability? Like you still have to, every year, you still have foreigner living in Thailand.
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't really know too much about that. Like I said, you can consult your lawyer and stuff for that, because I have Thai citizenship. So
you've got Thai citizenship.
But yeah, I mean, you gotta still pay your taxes. You gotta have a minimum. There's a minimum amount of capital your company needs to be raised. I think it's 4 million. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's 4 million baht. Your capital has to be registered, and you have to have. For a regular company, it's 4 Thai employees to 1 foreigner for 1 foreigner.
Right.
This is non-BOI, nothing special. This is just your run-of-the-mill kind of company.
So this is something I think you brought up in the conversation when we were on Discord, was setting up the business. You have a business name and you pay the business setup fees.
Correct.
About $3,000 US, you said, something like that?
No. To set up the company is 3,000 baht.
3,000 baht?
Yeah.
Okay, so
that's just the paperwork that you pay to DBD to submit the paperwork.
Right, and you've got a business then for you to leverage a business visa, what else do you need?
That's where this whole, like, the share capital of your company, so the value of your company has to be at least 4 million baht, and then you have to have 4 Thai staff to 1 foreign. Yeah, that's the last time I checked what the rules are. I don't know if they're changed or anything like that, but that sounds about right.
Yeah. But you sort of said you don't need, it's just that's on paper.
That's on paper, yeah. So, well, if you're doing a work permit, I'm pretty sure they're going to check that.
Yeah.
But for example, like whenever you put like the company's capital value, usually like for the consulting company that I talked about, that like say for example my dad's a part of, I just put its like value is 100,000 baht. It's not really. No one's gonna buy this company. I'm never gonna sell it. It's just used purely for tax purposes, and it's the money that I whenever I get like invoices, I'd never take it as income because I don't want income. I don't want personal income.
Right.
This company that I have gets all the income because the tax is way less on that than it is for personal income, right?
Well, again, I'd be looking at that as well. So you know, like the business is actually for the business visa.
Yeah.
Because I have my own income.
Correct.
Right, and part of that process would be, let's put some salons together.
Yeah.
Let's look at franchise, right? Start selling franchises and then paying fully franked dividends at the end of the year, because that's non-taxable.
Exactly.
Right, so that's how I would draw an income.
Exactly.
Fully franked dividends on shares.
Yeah, so like if you wanted to, dividends is another way of paying yourself with getting around personal income tax in Thailand. Dividends is a flat rate 10% tax.
It's better than Australia, I think.
So that's 10% flat rate, doesn't get counted towards income, personal income, which is really nice. Yeah. So if you do have like a lump sum of money in your personal account and you want to pull it out 10%, that's not too bad. It's not a bad ask.
Well, I'd probably move my, I said in the business case, I'd look at moving at least the 1 million capital from my current visa holding into the business account. So I've instantly got a 1 million baht capital to work with, which then of course, like I said, we bought all that selling stuff, and there was no tax deduction for me.
You know what's funny is, as a Thai person, they'll check for proof of income on your personal bank account to make sure you have the value of that shares to pay for those shares. But if you're a foreigner, they don't check because they just assume you guys have money.
But what about this new tax coming through?
So any income anything that's coming into Thailand, and if it hasn't been taxed yet, it will get taxed in Thailand.
And how are they finding out that this being taxed?
It's just even they're not going to really know, but there's ways that they're doing stuff to like kind of start building like I would say like data on it, right?
Well, I read today the fact that China and Thailand have set up a trade agreement. They're only going to use their own currencies. They're going to cut out the SWIFT system. Stuff America. Look, I said things are changing here in Asia rapidly. Yeah. And this is one of the biggest challenges until you really get the hang of all the little nuances of the way that
the way things work, right? Yeah. So I mean, like for example, little things like The bank only insures $1 million baht, up to $1 million baht per bank account in Thailand.
So you can put
a lot of wealthy people, what they do is they have safety boxes of gold.
safety deposits of gold. Yes.
Gold is what they usually do. So
that's really only CPI adjusted. That's gold only holds CPI. I don't know why people invest in gold.
It's a big thing in Thailand.
I know, it's just the thing. As I said, I'm a Warren Buffett fan. Like, if you're not using index funds, then you're not playing the game. And don't get to me on Bitcoin.
Like you don't want to talk about Thai, like the Thai stock market and stuff. It's quite. I wouldn't say like everybody it's adjusted to it yet.
Yeah. It's the paradigm we live in. So. As I said, to draw a monthly income, I would need the 4 staff.
Yeah. I would say to get a work permit and to draw an income. Yes, you would need the 4 staff. But what I would encourage you to do is not if you really need it. I would encourage you not to take a work permit. Stay where you're at.
Yeah.
And you can still be a business owner and have company expenses as a business owner. Yeah. Have the company pay for your food. Have the company pay for your travel, have the company use that to the max of your ability, see how that fits you without interrupting what you got going on, and maybe you can still use the company's income like that, and that way it wouldn't stress things out the way it wouldn't change too much. Right. Is what I'm trying to say.
So like I could potentially, rather than look at an IT focus, I could do it as a sort of I'm just trying to think of a name, a banner, a self-help company. Or a company, that helps other people do things.
Consulting. Some kind of consultancy company. You could do that, like an advisory to adjusting to life in Thailand or something.
Well, it's just like multi-factor. What have I done in my life? I've done shitloads of, brickies labourer, floor salesperson, foreman, production manager, IT engineer, global globetrotter running around.
Obviously, just do something that you love, so that way you stick with it. But just find a way to do something, and you could be a company owner and not be an employee. So that way you can still use the tax benefits and all that stuff, and still generate and still like get some kind of money, like say for example staying at a hotel or what have you, and have the company pay for it, but not have that money transfer, get taxes paid on it just to go to your account, just so you pay for it, right? So let the company pay for it without the tax money going.
Right. Okay. So look, we'll just look at the time. We've got 17 minutes there. I didn't want to go over the 20-minute mark simply because of that, that's about the attention span we've got on YouTube. But if people want to know more, like of your experiences, as I said before, we hang out in our little private Discord community. Actually, we've got 2 of them.
Almost every day.
So we've got, my Discord community, which is the Callisto Liberation Front. We've got, actually, it's his Discord. It's his.
I'm just more active on it.
Yeah, he's just more active. Where are you? You've got a salon.
Yep,
he also runs this. That's another reason why he's here. We'll probably talk more about the salon stuff after we finish here, because again, that's an angle that looks interesting for me. Now, I'm not going to run in and jump and do this, I'm really going to sit there and do every investigation I can think of. Probably analyse it to the death until I'm dead, probably.
It keeps you going. It keeps you going.
Well, again, like this. As I keep on saying this, I'm more busy now in my life doing things, enjoying things than I did when I was working. Working for somebody else's dream is just seriously. Robert Kiyosaki, read his books, man. I don't know. Don't they educate children these days?
Nah, they teach them to work for the man. Work for the man. Don't ask questions. So on and so on.
Look, a telephone call coming in. Oh, hold on a second. Hello, Warren here. That's the people who did my dental work 5 years ago. I ring up. Time to come on the checkup.
They work.
They work good.
Thank you.
Yeah. But you're sorry about the little interlude there. I'll probably leave that in there. That's it's real life. our channel, or my channel, or our channel is about real life, and this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to sort of look into all the little things, all those questions that you guys out there are probably asking about Thailand in general, because if you're going to make that commitment to move to Thailand, you want to know everything. And of course, if you're watching our channel, I'm not an information channel. Like, I know I did videos at the beginning trying to copy everybody else. I realized that you just wanted the numbers. Now I'm just doing my shit, okay? And my shit involves asking questions, and having fun. And not many people do that these days.
Nah, I mean, I think it's just like, don't worry about chasing whatever the hot thing is. Just like, what interests you?
Yeah, that's it, yeah. And that's what we do here, and that's what our gang does. And I said, well, like, I put a link to the Seawoks Discord if you don't want to join.
You can. It
is a public
community. It's a lot of new people, and it's always, it's like a rotating, like, revolving door. So there's like new people that come in, they get comfortable, and they probably start like go venturing off on their own, and then we get other new people. It's like I don't know what you want to call it, like
just a hangout.
Just a hangout place. They sometimes they come back later after and have all kinds of stories to tell us.
And it's really, I keep on sort of saying this, that it really never comes across really well. If you really want to know about Thailand, we cannot put that in YouTube. Right? We have to comply to YouTube community standards and a whole bunch of other things, and we really can't tell the inside story. On my channel, I try to give a little bit of a tongue-in-cheek look at it, you know, but if you want to ask questions, you've got to come and ask some questions in the privacy of your own home, to our privacy of our home, where it's not being monitored by Facebook, Google, freaking Twitter, X. You know, it's a private system, you know. What goes on there stays there, you know. We had those sort of sayings. And when we were working in Australia, we do our trips to Thailand. What goes in Thailand stays in Thailand. Well, when we talk in Discord, what goes in Discord stays in Discord. It works for us. Anyway, but if you do want to ask them questions about this sort of stuff, or gaming, or IT, or salons, or basically the people we got in our crew, you know, you could ask, like,
there's lots of different experiences.
What's some new, like, they dropped in yesterday?
Yeah, there's like, I mean, there's a couple of new guys that dropped in, and they were asking me like, what's it like to do this or that, and I'm like, you know what? There's a few of these things that I just don't really want to talk about, because it's all about your journey. Yeah, and I'm actually curious to hear what happens to you versus me telling you what happened to me and then you trying to live my journey. Yeah. Let's see what happens first, because I was like, once you get to like the position where we've been in, where you've been in Thailand for 10 years or so, you're not gonna surprise us. you're not gonna do much that's gonna be new.
Yeah.
So
they've been there, done that. Yeah. And the whole idea of my YouTube channel is a bit of a foothold where you can feel unthreatened to see our life in Thailand. And again, me learning as I go along. You know, the things I've learned in 7 years, it just blows my mind. I don't want to sit there and be the knowledge base of everybody. YouTube is about fun, just getting together and having a bit of fun. A lot of new people, obviously from Peter's video from last week. A big thank you again for Peter for doing that interview. But that's just one side of our life, you know. Life is life. And the only way to really appreciate life is to get involved in some life. You know, outside where your comfort zone is. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. If you want to ask more questions, hit us up on our Discord channel. Look, I do have emails and everything else, but really it's a one-on-one conversation. We can steer you in the right place. You can talk, we can link you up to the right people. It costs you zero.
Yeah.
All you got to do is just got to be an upstanding guy, and you know, want to be part of the team. And that's it. That's a team thing. You know, you might have something that can offer somebody else as well. In the team, there's no I in team, as they say. All these cliches. I'll leave it at that. And it's goodbye from me, and it's goodbye from Charles.
Yep.
And he's going to get stuck into his chicken. And hopefully we'll do another one of these. Probably with him. You never know. We'll just leave it open. Okay. Peace out, guys, and we'll see you again.
I want you to